Hi, and welcome to my channel. I'm your host, Black Shadow, and if you want more content like this, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Let's get on with the video. Peace! Starting P7 on the grid, I'm in the Bentley Continental GT3, the big boy. As we wait for the 5 red lights to go out, or maybe 4 this time. Lights out and away we go. Getting a good good start on the Audi and the Mercedes, catching up pretty quickly. And coming into turn 1, you want to avoid some traffic and some altercations, as I just did in turn 1, avoiding the Mercedes and the Porsche. Coming into turn 2, you can see the Porsche and the Mercedes fighting, and you can see the Mercedes in the P1 breaking away from the packs. That's what's essential about being in the front, is that you can break away from all the altercations that happen in the midfield section. Coming up the straight, you want to break down the 100 board, and you really want to optimize all the chicanes that you get into in this map. Mainly because that if you manage to optimize fully and abuse the track limits of this track, you can basically make up possibly a 10th or maybe even 2/10 every turn, or every chicane rather, provided that you take the chicane properly and as quickly as possible. Breaking down the 100 board, going into the chicane, seem to make up some progress, covering up some distance from the Porsche in front of me. And coming down the straight, you want to brake just before the billboard, blue billboard. Coming in, taking things smooth. You don't want to get onto the power too early, otherwise you're going to get wheel spin from the back of your car. Alright, into lap 2. Into turn 1, you want to take it quite nicely and smoothly, but over here I just took it a bit too wide and lost a bit of time. And it's time to try and catch up the lost time that I made. Into turn 2 and turn 3. The Porsche went a little bit wide there. Back wheels caught the grass and sort of caught up a little bit. Not sure if you can see, but yeah, I've caught up a little bit. Coming down the back straight, really got a better exit than the Porsche. Creeping up bit by bit. Taking the chicane wasn't the best. As you can see, I lost some time there. But you don't want to fight too much at the beginning of the race, because if you were to fight too much, you'd begin to lose a whole lot of time to the person in the lead, and they'll start breaking away. Which is why you need to be strategic and smart about when you overtake the person in front of you, because you don't want to lose too much time in doing such overtakes. Coming into the hairpin, I wanted to go into the inside, but then I realized I was too far out. A bit of an ambitious move, but getting onto the hairpin, I get a better exit on the Porsche. And who's going to brake later and get into the corner first? I do. Wheel to wheel racing, great driving from the both of us, and I come out on top. It's time to hunt down the Mercedes. Heading into lap 3. Coming into turn 1, will I take it nicely this time? Yes, I do. As you can see, I made a bit of time according to my previous lap. In comparison to my previous lap, I made a bit of time because I took that corner quite smoothly. Coming into turn 2 and turn 3, sort of go wide and begin to lose time on the Mercedes in front of me. The Porsche is trying to catch up. Almost made a move on the inside over there, but luckily I blocked him out. Coming down the straight, will I be able to optimize the chicanes properly this time? Kinda do, but you don't want to, with that chicane, you don't want to come in too aggressively or too straight, if I can say that, because that unsettles the car, and the car begins to bounce around all over the place, losing its extra time. As you can see there, abusing the track limits in the chicane got me extremely close to the Mercedes in front of me, putting on some pressure onto him. Coming down the straight, I give the Mercedes a little love tap. Felt bad about it and decided to let him go ahead just a little bit, not too much, because I felt bad for giving him that little love tap at the back. But now it's time to try and catch up and make up some lost time. Coming in the last chicane of the lap, go down the straight, the main straight. I head into turn 1. Now this is where one would begin to panic, if I can say, because now there's only 2 laps left, or just under 2 laps, and you have to try and get into the lead without being too aggressive and compromising the both of you. And yeah, you gotta try and not be dumb, if I can say. Heading into turn 3, going down the long straight on the Big Brother 100 board, will I be able to optimize the chicane this time? It makes up some time. No, I won't. Dropping down behind the Mercedes a little bit by bit. As you can see in the top left, the gap is slightly increasing. Will I be able to optimize over here? Abusing the curbs, and look at how close I become. Almost kissing the bumper. Which is why it's so crucial that you optimize and use and really abuse the chicanes. You get some extra time there. Coming into the hairpin, excuse me. Coming into the hairpin, chasing down the Mercedes. Wasn't the best of exit, but it was enough to stay with him. Coming into the chicane, hitting the blue billboard, braking just before the blue billboard, and coming down the main straight into turn 1. Now we only have 1 lap left. The Merc is increasing its lead, and I need to try and somehow regain the time and overtake and make sure I secure the lead. Coming into turn 1, took that corner quite smoothly. So will I do with turn 2. Which brings me to a very important concept that really stuck with me when I began sim racing, is that when you start off, you gotta start off slow, because slow is smooth and eventually smooth becomes faster. And when you begin to take those corners, those turns smoothly, and not jerking the car all over the place and upsetting the car, you begin to become faster at each and every single turn, making at least 1/10 every lap over your previous laps, if I can say. Coming down the chicane, will I abuse the chicane? Coming in for the cutback, and look at how close we've gotten. Will I be able to secure the lead? Will I? Coming up the hill, and I do. Bit of last lap drama there. Secure the lead, get into the hairpin, and try not mess things up. Try not to bottle it, try not to go too wide. Otherwise, all that hard work would be thrown down the drain. Coming into the last 2 turns of the track. Take it nicely. A bit too wide, if I'm honest, coming in. But it is enough to keep us in the lead and win the race. If you enjoy my video and want more content like this, make sure to hit the like button and to subscribe.